In the distant future, Earth was a vibrant planet, teeming with life. The jungles of the Amazon swayed with the rhythm of ancient trees, while the vast oceans teemed with creatures long forgotten by time. But in this world, one species stood at the top of the food chain, an apex predator known as the Sargons. Towering over humans, the Sargons were fierce, intelligent beings with the strength of a bear and the cunning of a fox. Their sleek, iridescent scales reflected the sunlight, allowing them to blend seamlessly into their surroundings, making them the perfect hunters. Sargons ruled their territories with an iron fist, controlling vast regions with their advanced communication skills and pack tactics. They were not just predators, they were architects of their environment, maintaining a delicate balance in the ecosystem. Other species respected or feared them, and the natural order seemed unshakable. Yet, beneath this surface of dominance lay a simmering tension. As the Sargons thrived, so too did the intelligence of humanity. Over centuries, humans developed technology that rivaled the natural prowess of the Sargons. No longer were they the fragile creatures of the past. They became resourceful, clever, and above all, relentless. One such human was Dr. Elara Kinsey, a biologist who had dedicated her life to studying Sargons. She marveled at their intelligence and grace, convinced that they could coexist. But her voice was drowned out by those who saw only threats in the eyes of these magnificent creatures. The world had become a battleground, and the Sargons were painted as the villains in humanity's quest for dominance. Elara spent years studying their patterns, documenting their social structures and behaviors. She believed that understanding was the key to coexistence. However, as humanity's fears grew, so did their resolve. A powerful organization, known as the Coalition for Human Supremacy, emerged, advocating for the extermination of apex predators. They argued that the Sargons were a danger to human settlements and needed to be eliminated. Despite her protests, the coalition launched a series of attacks on Sargon territories. Elara watched helplessly as the jungles were turned into battlegrounds. The once harmonious balance of the ecosystem shattered under the weight of human greed and fear. The Sargons, formidable as they were, began to fall to traps and weaponry that humans had designed with a singular purpose: to eradicate them. As the war raged, one Sargon named Kale emerged as a symbol of resistance. Kale was a magnificent creature, with scales that shimmered in hues of blue and green. He led his pack with a fierce determination, fiercely protecting his territory. But as the coalition's forces advanced, he watched his family and friends fall one by one. The forest that had once echoed with their roars now fell silent, replaced by the sounds of destruction. Elara, torn between her species and her love for the Sargons, found herself at a crossroads. One night, under the light of a blood moon, she made a fateful decision. Sneaking away from her camp, she ventured deep into the heart of Sargon territory. Her heart raced, knowing she could be seen as a traitor, but she was determined to make contact with Kale. She had to show him that not all humans sought destruction. After hours of treacherous trekking, she finally caught sight of Kyle, his imposing figure illuminated by the moonlight. For a moment, they regarded each other, human and apex predator, separated by centuries of misunderstanding. With a deep breath, Elara spoke softly, her voice trembling. "I'm not here to hurt you." Kale's nostrils flared as he assessed her scent, a mixture of fear and hope coursing through him. He sensed her sincerity and took a cautious step closer. Elara slowly extended her hand, palm up, a gesture of peace. It was a gamble, but it was one she was willing to take. Days turned into weeks as Elara and Kyle forged an unexpected bond. She learned of the Sargons' culture, their history, and their struggles. In return, she shared her knowledge of human technology, seeking ways to protect the Sargons from the relentless onslaught. They became partners in a desperate fight for survival. Meanwhile, the coalition grew more aggressive, employing mercenaries and advanced weaponry. The tide of war seemed impossible to reverse. But Elara refused to give up. With Kale by her side, she began rallying the remaining Sargons, teaching them to outsmart their human adversaries, utilizing their natural instincts and intelligence. The climax came when the coalition launched a massive offensive to wipe out the last of the Sargons. Elara, with Kyle's help, orchestrated a counterattack, using the terrain to their advantage. The Sargons moved silently through the shadows, ambushing their foes with precision. It was a battle unlike any other, a clash of raw nature against cold, calculated technology. As the dust settled, the Sargons stood victorious, but at a heavy cost. Many had fallen, and their once thriving population had dwindled. The battle was a turning point, a clear message that the Sargons would not go quietly into the night. Humanity was forced to reconsider its stance, facing the consequences of its actions. In the aftermath, Elara became a voice for the Sargons, advocating for their protection and coexistence. She traveled the world, sharing her story, hoping to ignite a spark of empathy in the hearts of her fellow humans. Slowly, change began to take root. Some began to see the Sargons not as monsters, but as sentient beings worthy of respect. Though the scars of war remained, there was a glimmer of hope. The Sargons, under Kale's leadership and Alara's guidance, began to rebuild their society, finding ways to coexist with the humans who chose understanding over fear. In the end, the story of the Sargons became a testament to resilience, a reminder that even the fiercest predators could be allies. They were not simply apex predators, they were part of a larger tapestry of life, woven together in a delicate balance that humanity could no longer ignore. And as the sun set on a new era, the echoes of their roars resonated once more, not as symbols of dominance, but as a powerful reminder of unity in diversity.